awesome. My name is Caleb. He is Mark. We are coming to you, as always, from Olde Trail Golf Club in Florence, South Carolina, where there is snow on the ground.
A little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, we got a little bit overnight. It's kind of ice right now, but we're supposed to be getting some more snow this afternoon, kind of all night. It's going to be kind of a cold, snowy weekend. So, How you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to be us today and probably tomorrow.
Yeah. Hopefully it's just today and tomorrow. Hopefully it'll kind of melt and go back. You know, we talked a little bit last time. It's like we had such a good start to the winter as far as weather.
Yeah, that's over.
Yeah, that ended pretty quickly, and so it's been cold and very cold. So, but there's been a lot to do. We've been getting a lot done on the course, inside and outside. So, yeah, just wanted to we can recap the PGA show. I came back and was a little bit under the weather, so we delayed that a little bit.
Probably let people know exactly, because there's a lot of people have no idea what that really is, probably.
I don't even know if I know exactly what it is really with the amount of people walking around, but basically it's the annual big merchandise show that the PGA puts on. You know, they have their PGA meetings and stuff, but you know, it happens every year in Orlando. There's also one that happens like in the summer in Texas now at like the Frisco location. I don't really know a lot about that, but basically this is the big one that's been happening for forever. You know, started in a parking lot basically, and now it's at the Orange County Convention Center and takes up the entire convention center basically. And it's all the vendors that you would expect. Well, most of the vendors you would expect. All the club companies, the apparel brands, latest and greatest invention that's going to revolutionize the golf industry, stuff like that. Yeah. But it's for PGA members, golf course owners, it's for, GMs, pros, stuff like that. You probably could find a way to get in if you just wanted to go and look at it, but you do technically have to have some association in the golf industry to be able to go. You can't just walk in and look around.
Right.
So yeah, it's also it's my excuse to go to Disney once a year. So
one of the cool things about I always thought was neat is, you have all the major companies, most of them. Some of them don't go anymore. They've made a decision not to after the whole, COVID thing and downturn. They just didn't go back, and eventually they probably will. But they're all there, and then you see all of the little mom and pops taking a shot with a product or a line that they have, trying to kind of wedge their way in. And it's like, it's funny because, you walk into the big boys, and unless you have an appointment, no one's like, hey, they're off doing stuff. But you go to one of the mom and pops, it's like they give you a hug, want to spend the day with you. So that's always kind of neat.
Yeah, it's to the point now when, I don't remember it being like this when I was younger, just going with you and stuff. But yeah, if you don't have an appointment at most of them, you can't even look at their stuff. They wall it off pretty well. But yeah, like you said, getting to kind of just walk around and see some familiar faces. I ran into Duck and Cover that did our awesome head covers, the flag covers, the red ones. I just was like, oh, hey, you guys are here again. Awesome. So it's always fun to see people, and stuff like that. And yeah, it's like I had a couple meetings, with Puma and stuff like that at the bigger ones. And those are neat too, especially because, I like all our reps. It's good to catch up with them and stuff. So yeah, it's very, very, very overwhelming. It's a lot of I did more walking at the show than I did the next day at Disney. So it's a very, very large floor to walk and see.
Years back, it was easier. I could get guests in as long as I had them signed up in advance. So there's a couple of friends that different friends I try to take every year. And they would just walk around in awe, just staring at stuff. It's like they couldn't believe how awesome it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's neat to just kind of, just every year get to see what's new, what people are pushing, and, what's the, all the club manufacturers, they always announce kind of like the month before what the new line is going to be for the year, so then you can see it. They have a big demo day that they do at Orange County National, which I don't think I haven't gone to unless it was when I was way younger. I don't go to that. I typically don't hit anything when I'm there, but it's cool to just be able to pick up and.
Do they still have the big hitting area at the one end of the?
Yep.
Do they?
Yeah, they still have kind
that?
of like the indoor range and
Right.
stuff that you can hit. You can't hit everything, but most of the club manufacturers have a little booth set up that
Right.
you can
Right.
try something out, and then some of like the shaft manufacturers and stuff like that
Right.
will have a section too that you can hit into a net. And I was walking past and it's like, I wonder if a ball ever gets through there. It's like, because you're hitting to the end of the convention center, it's it's going to leave a mark, but I didn't see any. So but no, it was good to kind of connect with the companies that we work with, talk to some new companies and stuff like that. In fact, we already got one of our new products in. We should have brought one over here. We got the Yeti water bottles in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those came in really really quickly. I wasn't expecting.
Logoed
Yeah.
Yeti.
Yeah, the logoed. So those are neat. That's something that we've talked about, wanting to have, kind of drinkware and options for on the course, but didn't want to just go with kind of whoever. Wanted to, find a brand that is, is good. That's
Right.
something that I always use. So we wanted to have it in the shop.
Right.
Fill up your water bottle and hook it to your bag or stick it in the cart, and then you've got water for the day. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But yeah, it was just kind of neat to go down there again, and the weather was pretty good. We went to a water park one day, and then we came back and saw snow that night. So it was kind of a shock coming back. But
Well, that's why I said to you yesterday, do you want to go ahead and make a Florida trip for the weekend?
yeah,
And miss all of this?
Yeah, maybe I should have just got out of here. But it's good to kind of get caught up on everything coming back. So yeah, hopefully this weather doesn't hang around too much longer. It feels like spring is right around the corner, but
Let's hope.
there's a lot of cold days in between then and now. So, but yeah, you said you wanted to talk to something about equipment a little bit.
Yeah,
today,
because
kinda
now
coming
you're
back to
seeing
the
all
show.
here's the new equipment, here's the stuff. They've had it out for a little while. They're pushing it for spring, and just looking at all the stuff and thinking back to, it's like, I was telling you, it's like when I played in my playing days, playing the mini tours, I hit my 7-iron 148 yards, which was pretty standard. Yeah, every once in a while there was this Kong that hit at 160, but everyone was 150 to 140. And now 12 handicaps are going into the fitting sessions, and wow, you just hit that 185. It's like, did technology get that good? And it's like, no, it actually hasn't. I mean, if you look at blades from when we played, they're the same blades that you play today. And I think there's a lot of confusion going on. It's like, wow, and you're hitting this driver further. It's when we played, standard driver was probably 43 inches, and you might even have it a little shorter than that, 42 and a half. Now they're 45. So you're looking at the difference in not so much technology as design. It's, that 7-iron that I hit might be a 9-iron. It's just they've jacked the lofts up so much. They're giving you that extra yardage basically with, the loft, not so much the design. Yeah, the designs have gotten better and technology is better. They have the exotic, metals and drivers now, and all that stuff is improved. But I don't think it's improved that much that it's, a difference of 25 yards in a 7-iron. So basically is you look for the length of the golf club and the shafts and the lofts on the heads of your irons. That's where the difference is coming from. Not so much that, gee, I'm hitting this so much further than what I used to. you're probably really not. And like I've always said, it's like, is $700 worth that 2 extra yards you're picking up, even on the test? And some people it is, and that's fine. That's great if you want to do that. If that's what you do, that's fine. But I don't think it's really, it's like specs on cars. 0 to 60 or top end speeds. How many times you're going to go 0 to 60 to 3.5 seconds, even if you can, or 178 miles an hour? It's like you're always staying in that range. So you look at these charts, and they're doing the same thing with golf balls now. This golf ball's number 1, and this one's number 17, and there might be 2 yards difference off of a driver. So it's just telling people, be careful with that. Don't get talked into something that you might not even need. So, yeah, it's just be careful with it. Don't be convinced by golf companies are great marketers. I mean, they have us paying $700 or more for a driver now. Tell me how good they are. And the other thing on the other side of that is, well, this is what so-and-so is playing. No, you're not buying what they play. I mean, you're not even getting close to what they play. Their shaft is made differently, different specs than yours. The irons might be stamped with the name that you're using, but it's probably not even the same head. So be careful about getting all wrapped up in that. And, I've fitted clubs for years, and I've always tried to avoid that, of pushing someone into something because, wow, this is perfect for you. To me, it always comes back to, do you like the looks of it? To me, that's the biggest factor, because that makes you comfortable swinging a golf club, which is the best way to improve. And the other way to improve is, and in fact, recently I've seen it a lot, is guys are coming out with their new driver, and I watch them on the range, and I can guarantee you their score's not changing, and they just spent a lot of money. So you might want to think about, how do I lower my score if you're trying to get better, instead of how can I hit it 5 yards further, which I know that's not attractive. Forever people have wanted to buy their improvement, but it just doesn't work.
Well, I think that's also kind of something that the club manufacturers have caught on to, especially in kind of the past few years. Is it seems like there's been less of an emphasis on yardage gain, specifically with drivers, and more on forgiveness. That's kind of what a lot of them have been pushing.
Right.
The sweet spot on this driver face is, it's the whole face now, and it's like maybe a little bit, but you can't tell me that, if you top a ball, you top a ball. That's,
Right.
that's they've kind of gotten, at least maybe it's just a cycle. Maybe it'll come back to now you can hit it 7 yards further, but it seems like they have been pushing. This is more forgiving. And, the other thing is, they don't just come out with one driver. They have the low spin, they have the standard,
Right.
They have some of them will call it the X or whatever, the, anti-slice, whatever it is.
Right.
And I think that, you talking about, playing something that you like the look of and stuff, it makes me think about my experiment with blades, which maybe that's the one exception. Maybe
Well, your blades were like real blades.
They were butter knives. Yeah. Maybe that's the one exception.
Now,
But
if you would have been playing 3 times a week, it would have been different.
Yeah. Well, and I got to the point, kind of before I got too busy to play, that I was hitting them. I wasn't hitting them as far as, a cavity bag, but I could hit them better. I had more control with
Right.
them, because I'd kind of gone through the grind of, wow, I'm not good anymore and gotten past that. But, I think it is kind of, there's a desire to, like you said, look at what's my favorite tour player playing. I want those. And it's
Right.
like, I don't care that I'm a, 17 handicap. I want what they. It's like that's just dumb. And I get it. You want what you like. You want the
Right.
cool thing, but you also have to understand that, a lot of it is marketing, but they are making different specs that might fit your game better.
Right. Well, and it's like going back to the irons, and it's what I was sharing. It's like now you have to have 3 wedges because the iron lofts are so low. They've created a gap there.
And
when I played, we had 1 wedge. We had our pitching wedge, and then we had another wedge, and that's all you needed because the lofts didn't jump 12 degrees when you got past the pitching wedge.
And club manufacturers have gotten very good at hiding what those are. It's
Right.
like you have to kind of dig through websites to actually see what the difference is, or really follow, the accounts that, this is the change that they made and stuff. And it's like, it's gotten out of hand. And, that's something everyone kind of rags on Bryson for, is like, oh, he's hitting his pitching wedge, 200 yards. And it's like, well, when you actually look at it, it's like, it's not really a pitching wedge.
It's a 5-iron.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, it's.
And that's the thing. I've been doing this so long. It's like, it's almost like it goes full circle and then it starts again. It's like hybrid was the Miracle Club forever. Now what do you see? 7 woods and 5 woods. And I always said, hit a 7 wood. It's so easy to hit, or a 5 wood with a smaller head. It's so much easier to hit. And so many people never adjusted to even swing or ball position a hybrid properly. So it never really worked that way. But guess what? Everybody still used them because you were supposed to be using them.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing a lot of people, and manufacturers are starting to come back to, okay, here's a 7 wood, and we recommend that. But it's just, to me, it's real simple. If you want to score better, have a 43-inch driver instead of a 45-inch driver. Are you going to lose 5 yards? Probably. But that 5 yards is going to pull you back onto the golf course, instead of in the weeds. So that's just my little message for the day about golf equipment, is people are now getting the bug, and you see the advertisements, and it's like, boy, I really need to have that. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. And if you can get it, go ahead, enjoy it. But don't expect to go 5 shots slower. That's not going to happen.
Well, and, talking about kind of, you're right, there's a push for, 7 woods and all the woods now and stuff, and kind of hybrids taking a back seat. And, I think kind of that metalwood category, 3, 5, 7 hybrids has kind of always been overlooked because people just want to rush out and buy the newest driver and stuff. And every couple years they'll get, I need new irons or a new
Right.
wedge and putter and stuff like that. And, I think a lot of that kind of comes to, I think people are playing golf the wrong way. I think people just kind of get on a tee box and just hit driver every time. And if you want to do that, that's fine. If you just want to have fun and not think about it, that's
But it's usually
fine.
not fun.
Yeah.
That's the point.
But if you want to start, scoring better and improving and stuff like that, I think that's something that a lot of people overlook, especially people that are kind of, just getting into golf. They
Right.
just assume, well, I'm on the tee, I hit driver. It's
Right.
like, that's not always the best play. It's like, I can think of a bunch of places out here that's not the best
Right.
play. In
Well,
fact, when I play, I only hit driver a couple places.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Right. Well, and that's, if you watch, again, tour courses, they're kind of stuck because they're at 7,300 yards and 7,400 yards.
Yeah, they just
so
hit
they
it.
don't get
They
that
hit it
option.
over the trouble.
They just have
Yeah.
to. So, but that was one of the big things about converting to a practice area for our members, is it gives you an opportunity to learn how to play golf.
Yep.
Go up there and spend an hour and hit different shots and experiment around the green and out at the 150 marker and the fairway and the rough. Hit different shots, learn how to play golf. People just don't commit anything to learning how to play golf, as opposed to going to the range and hitting 100 range balls. Go up there and spend an hour and hit 30 or 40 different shots, from different places on the golf course, and learn how to get the golf ball in the hole. That's the goal.
Yeah, that's something, when we were down in Florida, Spessard, it's an executive distance course, so
Right.
it kind of forces you to hit different shots.
Right.
It really, really forces you to do it. And that's something I learned with my wedges is I'm a lot more comfortable with my wedges with an open stance, from any distance. It's like if I close my stance or just square up, it's like I can't do it. It's just like trying to swing left-handed. But I wouldn't have learned that if I wasn't kind of forced to try different things
Right.
and try to get more comfortable with something.
Right.
And that's something you can do on an actual practice area. It's something, it doesn't really make sense to do it on a range. No one chips on a range. You just lose your golf ball.
Right.
So yeah, that's definitely something, that we want to be able to provide is people the opportunity to learn different ways to play, because it doesn't matter if you take golf seriously at all. It's more fun to score better. I mean, that's the reality. You're going to have more fun when you make a birdie as opposed to a double bogey. That's the reality. So yeah, that's kind of our spiel on equipment.
And and it's like, you'd be looking at all the shiny new stuff now, and it's like, and that's fine. It's just make sure your expectations match what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you think that's going to take you to this level, that's probably not going to happen. Will you enjoy it? Sure. If it's worth it, go ahead and do that. That's fine.
Yeah. If you have the money to do it, no one's telling you don't buy it. It's just set your expectations right.
And the other thing is, like, this is one of the places where I do agree with Tiger. Stop watching all the videos. I mean, come on, folks.
Yeah.
It's like golf is a very personalized swing for each individual.
Yeah.
And you can't, that's why I never was a fan of systems, guys that taught systems. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, like, you watch this video, well, that didn't work today. Let me find another one. I'll try that. It's like, you start heading down the rabbit holes and you never come back. And it's like, I've seen guys, in fact, I've had members come in and talk about that. Well, I was trying this, and, but you were just shooting high 70s, low 80s. Now you're in the 90s. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. The golf YouTube instruction rabbit hole. Watching people just play golf on YouTube, that's fun. That's fine. I like all the flyovers and stuff, but the golf instruction rabbit hole is.
Yeah, I watch it for entertainment.
Yeah,
I enjoy watching it. It's like, really,
Yeah.
Somebody's going to watch this and try it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what else we got. Last time we talked about the carts, kind of what we were considering in that. We're still moving forward in that direction,
Right.
Still kind of getting some details. It's a big decision to be made. So, we're going to kind of take our time and look at all the pros and cons of it, because it's not a cheap decision. So,
Right.
But
And it's kind of our approach has always been, we might not be able to do a lot, but what we do, we want to do it as good as we can possibly do it. It's just like, the water bottles you brought in, logo Yeti bottles. It's like, could you have gotten a lot cheaper somewhere else? Yeah, absolutely. But it's like, no, that's not what we want to do.
Yeah. And that kind of fits in with, kind of the approach that we want to have. It's like, the water bottles aren't expensive for you to come in and buy. You're going to pay basically the same price as anywhere else, but we're just not going to make as much. There's a lot of cheaper
Right.
options. We
Right.
can buy in bulk and get the no name whatever and make a lot more profit on it, but it's not the quality that we want to have.
Yeah, they still have boats coming in from China you can get stuff off of.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, just kind of still looking at that. We have a lot of things planned for the spring as far as, once the grass starts growing, then we can do some more work on the greens, stuff that we've talked about, and just kind of, really just trying to time everything up. So, once spring gets here, it's kind of full steam ahead into the summer. So that's the plan right now.
And it will be, it is just right around the corner. I know right now it's like, geez, everyone's like, can't play golf. The weather's miserable. In 2 or 3 weeks, it's going to start changing the other direction. And, all of a sudden it's here and you're back at it. And, our job is to be ready for that.
Yeah.
It's like when we switched to club car and brought those in, 3 years ago, somewhere around there. it was a definite upgrade from what was here, and now we want to do that again and continue to make that improvement.
Yeah.
So, and that's across the board what we're trying to do. It's like, people have asked about the 9 and 5, and most people get it. They really have, and it's, in fact, I was just sharing with one of the guys played the other day. It's like, yeah, the response has been really, really good. We were kind of bracing ourselves, but no, it's been positive, and we're excited about it and moving forward. So, yeah, that's just the kind of, as I told them, it's like, we're always trying to be creative to make it a better experience. That's the goal. Where can I go and have a really nice golf experience?
Yeah.
Might not be everything you ever dreamed of, but it can still be a great golf experience for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's different. We definitely recognize that, but we think it's what's best for the property and what is going to provide the most enjoyment for anyone that comes out and plays. And that's kind of the plan. It's like, are there going to be people that just think, well, no, what I think of golf is 18 holes? It's like, yeah, that's fine. There's probably someone out there that thinks what I think of golf is 36 holes. It's like, that's probably the reality. It's like, you're never going to be able to do exactly what everyone wants.
And when we were playing golf early, there was one guy that thought golf was 7 holes because when he got to 7, he'd be so mad he'd walk off the course. So he would do it time and time again. It was like, are we going to play with him again? We know he's going to quit.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, you can probably, share. You've got some stuff coming in, golf shoes company that we've had before, golf balls from another company that we've had before. We're bringing back in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we've got. Well, this whole week has been responding to emails for me, which is fine because it's been pretty cold. So, but yeah, we've got some more stuff coming in from True again. They've got some great new lines that they're coming out with that I'm excited to have. That really kind of True Linkswear. It very well fits what we want. It's modeled after, a comfortable shoe to walk in all day. It fits with what we're trying to do, and that's why I'm excited to bring them back into the shop. And yeah, like you said, we're gonna have the Penfold Heart ball back in. That's something they were able to kind of ramp up their side of it, and we'll be able to kind of have that consistently as our featured ball because we like the story of Penfold, and it ties in with everything we're trying to do. So.
Right.
So, yeah.
They had a supply side issue because they were a startup, and I think they probably got busier than what they thought.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They've done very, very well, and we loved having them in here early, and we're happy to have them in here again. So yeah, and there's some other companies that I'm still talking to that we haven't worked with before. That it's always trying to make sure it's a good fit for us, it's a good fit for them, and providing something that is affordable and something that we want to carry. We don't want to have the shop just filled with stuff that we don't think we'll ever sell. It's like we want to provide stuff that we think provides quality and everything like that.
Yeah, stuff that we think people would enjoy wearing and using. Yeah. So yeah, it's just that's the calculation on our part. Yeah. That's what we try to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I don't think any more snow has come down since we started, but I feel like that's
forecast for tonight a little more, I think.
Yeah. Well, it could be a lot more. It's still saying 5 to 8 inches. I don't know if it's actually going to happen.
I'm not buying that one now.
But we'll see.
I'm probably 10 inches now that I said that.
Yeah, great. But yeah, it was good to kind of sit down and talk about spring a little bit and kind of recap the show and everything. Is there anything you want to say before we head out of here?
I think I've done enough. Get off my soapbox.
Well, thanks again for listening to I Hate Golf. It's awesome. We will see you next time. Bye.